Yes, y'all. You are listening to Sonic Watermelons right here on Brown Student and Community Radio. Today's topic of the day is payday reforms and policy change. Basically, we're talking about some legislative actions and some bills coming up and some folks who are trying to make some important stuff happen. So I want to start by introducing Margaux Morriseau over there. Say hi, Margaux.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, and Mr. Nick Figueroa.
Hello. Hi,
Hey
everybody.
Make sure you're nice and
Okay,
close here.
very good.
So, this is really exciting because I oftentimes either, try to get guests here whenever they're free. Every once in a while, I get to do a phone interview ahead of time. You guys are fresh off of just finishing up a press conference that you were at earlier today. So I know it's fresh on your mind. Let's tell folks about it and where you were and what you were talking about.
So we were just at the State House today. We had a really great press conference. We had Representative Ferry, who is our speaker, who is our sponsor on the House side, and Senator Juan Pichardo, who is our sponsor on the Senate side. And we were also joined by leaders of the faith community. We had an imam, we had a preacher, and we had a rabbi talking about how payday lending is completely against all the major religions.
So I want to talk about this, and let's start really simple. I think I'm a great example for some of the people that you need to talk to and engage. When you talk about fees, when you talk about interest, when I start seeing things like APR, I just have no idea what you're talking about. And so even trying to prepare for today's show and Wikipedia, payday lending, I can't tell you that I understand exactly what it is. So, Nick, can you give us a little background on what payday lending is so we understand, what it is that you guys are trying to reform?
Sure. And I'll walk you through the process. The way that payday loans are marketed, they're marketed to individuals who need money in the short term. So if you need $400, you can take out a loan, and in 2 weeks, you can repay that loan. The process is that simple to begin with. However, you don't really know what you're getting into, of course, when you hop on to one of those loans. So you take out a loan. You need to have a job. You also need to have a banking account in order to qualify for these loans. Your loan becomes due 2 weeks later, and the payday lender will go into your bank account and take out that money plus the interest that's owed on it. Now, what will happen is that only 2% of the individuals that take out these loans can actually satisfy that loan in that first cycle. So many times what will happen is people will be short, and when they're short, they're forced to take out another loan. And so now you take out another loan on the first loan, and you owe interest on that and possibly late fees as well. Maybe overdraft fees if you didn't have enough money in your account. So it takes the average consumer in Rhode Island about 9 loans to get out of the first one.
Wow.
Yes. And so this is where the APR comes in. So you multiply that percentage rate every 2 weeks, and by the end of the year, if it takes you a whole year to pay off that loan, you're paying an interest rate of 260% on that loan.
So where are people going for the payday loans? For instance, it sounds like it's pretty common, but is this something that, you're going to the bank for, you're going to a check cashing place, or where are these services available?
They're not available at the banks. They're not available at credit unions. These are independent businesses that have come in from Ohio and South Carolina. They don't consider their loans actual loans, but they are just that. There are several. How many, Margaux, in the state of Rhode Island?
There's
20
about
plus?
28 storefronts in the state of Rhode Island, owned by 2 major national chains.
Right. And so that's where you would need to go to get one of these loans, not from a bank or from any other place.
Right. So they're spread out in about 28 locations. Folks go in basically needing some help. It's a kind of, we've been in this recession, depression sort of here, officially for whatever, 4 years or so, unofficially for some communities for decades. Right. So, we're not talking about something that's new, a phenomenon, people needing money, but there was something in reading your handouts, and I'm thinking about this Rhode Island Coalition Payday Reform handout, just sort of talking about the difference between what is happening here in Rhode Island with some of these payday loans and what's happening outside of Rhode Island with some of these payday loans. So, Margaux, can you speak to that a little bit?
Sure. Rhode Island is the only state in the Northeast right now where payday loans are still legal. They have been outlawed in every other New England state and state in the Northeast. So these big box stores got a special carve out from Rhode Island's small loan laws in 2001, and in around 2004, 2005, these stores have been popping up here and there, and they're actually one of the fastest growing industries here in Rhode Island right now. More stores have been popping up left and right, and they really target neighborhoods where there's a lot of low income working class families, and they're also target strip mall areas where there's a lot of shopping. In the largest spikes in payday loans, you actually see the largest amount of loans being taken out right around back to school shopping and then right around Christmas. So, people think that this would be just fast, easy cash. They think it would be easy to pay back in a short amount of time. And really, every person I've ever talked to who's taken out a payday loan has just ended up in more trouble than they ever dreamed about.
I think that's a really scary reality about these loans that, like you were saying, Margaux, and like you were saying, Nick, rarely do people really get a chance to pay them back the first time. And in that first process, why do we think that this is happening in Rhode Island? Is it that the law changing in 2005? What are some of the factors that are causing these businesses to set up shop here?
Well, I think certainly the economy has played a large role. When you have a high unemployment rate like we do here in Rhode Island, where we have some of our banking institutions making it difficult for individuals to qualify for loans, a lot of these consumers turn to payday lending establishments, not really understanding what it is that they're getting themselves into. It's just all a part of what's happening in this country economically, and certainly the impact that we've seen here in Rhode Island with finances. And
one thing that you noted, that you both noted really, is that again, so these are sort of working families who are being targeted as
That's
well.
Right, yeah.
I think a lot of times, people sort of have these assumptions when you're trying to make policy reforms, and suddenly stereotypes and assumptions come up. But we're talking about people who are working, who have jobs, who are being targeted here.
That's correct. People who are working, have jobs, have savings and checkings account. If you don't have a job, you won't qualify for one of these loans. If you don't have a banking account, you won't qualify for one of these loans. So it's middle class, low income individuals that are being targeted.
Well, I started our conversation here playing a little Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, and what you guys are talking about is changing a system and changing policies here in Rhode Island. So I want to take a little music break and play a little something to inspire us. It's a reggae artist named Itana, and her song is called I Am Strong, and we're talking about getting strong as a community to respond to some of these policies and practices that are affecting us. And we're talking to Nick Figueroa and Margaux Morriseau about Reform and Payday Loans. So you're listening to Sonic Watermelons on bsrlive.com, Brown Student and Community Radio.